Hey everyone, welcome to Drifting on Purpose. I am so excited for today. We have a guest that's really near and dear to my heart. Um, we have Sensei Victoria Whitfield. She's someone that has been a friend, has been a confidant, has been a coach, has been a mentor, has been a guide for me personally over the past several months of my life. And I really feel this relationship, because of this relationship, I have been able to grow so much more. And I'm so excited to welcome her to the show today, for everyone to get to hear her, feel her, and see her. And yes, just so excited. So more specifically about who Sensei Victoria Whitfield is that she helps impact-driven entrepreneurs and CEOs increase productivity and profits with strategic meditation for business. She guides people through these meditations through like a shamanic journeying practice. She's a Reiki master. She's also a published author. And she's actually officially launching her own meditation app for professionals. Amazing. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. And I'm so grateful to get to share this journey with you, Azrael, and to connect with you, Addie, just in loving on your community and sharing your wisdom and your hearts with the world, with the industry. Just from the top, I would love to get to say thank you both for what you do.
Well,
Thank you. Oh,
thank you. Thank you so much for being here. It's really an honor to learn about you and your practice and what you share with the world as well.
and so today is special because Addie and I have been talking about spirituality. And we're like, this is a big topic. And we're like, I don't know how to define this. I'm still, after years, defining it myself. Coming from a background of the biggest Western religion for me, moving away from this ideology, but still believing in something greater. Like, okay, that's it. Like, that's so general. So redefining this, coming to terms with these concepts and this idea, and we're like, oh, I know someone who could really help us here. And that's Victoria. So finding your own spiritual practice is the topic for today, right? And if I can just start out, Victoria, could you help us? Could you really help us define spirituality and or define maybe a spiritual practice or what? Could you help us with these terms and this idea, please?
Yeah, for sure. And it's a mysterious topic. I believe in pluralism and relativism, so everybody's definition of spirituality is valid for them. So
Hmm.
for one thing, I'm not a fan of being like it's one way or the other, right? It everybody's relationship with spirituality, everyone's language around it is valid, and I just want to bring that into the space as we enter into this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, what I can offer is my own walk in spirituality, and what I've observed in others as I continue to walk, not just talk, but walk in uh, spirituality. And for me, how I would define what it is I would actually define it as a form of fuel and an extension of the human immune system. So,
Tell me more.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
what?
Yeah, the human immune. Okay, loving. Yes, yes.
So, for fuel, again, if you want to drive your car, you got to fill up the tank. If the tank is empty, it's not going to go far. You can keep trying turning it on, tapping the gas, but might rev up a bit, but you're not going to be able to go far. You need a full tank, or you need at least some gas in the tank to do work. In physics, the capacity to do work, your how much work you're able to do is the physics definition, the scientific definition of energy. Right? We need fuel, we need energy to do work, to make things happen, to make impact. So we need fuel. And on the other hand, spirituality being an extension of the human immune system. Your immune system is there as your defense.
Mhm.
This is defense against free radicals, defense against toxins, defense against life, because in the words of my assistant and amazing coach, Sonia Bethay, she says, life be lifing, right? Life is going to life. Strong immune system so that you can go and be a change agent, so that you can go and live your life. So when I think of spirituality, I define it as fuel, like a source of fuel that fills your tank, gives you energy, meaning the capacity to do work. So it is a fuel source, maybe like a gas station, if you want to continue that metaphor. And then on the other hand, I would say that it is an extension of the human immune system, so that you have the ability to continue to get out there and enjoy your life because something is protecting you, protecting your gas tank, right? In extending the car metaphor, that there is something to make sure that you can use the fuel that you have and that things don't steal it out of your tank, no matter what happens. You need to be out there enjoying your life. You deserve life abundant. Um, and so spirituality, in summary, would be fuel and an extension of your immune system. I can break it down further, but I want to stop there just to check in if any of this is resonating.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is so interesting to bring that into perspective with spirituality. And I guess one question I have for you is, when people are at a vulnerable state, they kind of open up that immune system to all the free radicals, all this stuff. So how would you help somebody who is maybe struggling or sort of in that vulnerable state where they're not as grounded as they'd like to be? And so they're letting all this stuff, this toxic energy in. What are some practices that you would recommend for somebody who's just really trying to build themselves back up so that they can be protected through their spirituality?
Yeah. So I'm hearing in the spirit to recommend two things. Again, I don't know what it is about two, probably because this is like it's February. It's like second energy. I'm in the energy of twos. So catharsis and awe, things that I would recommend. Someone engage more, add more. When you're talking to a nutritionist that's worth their salt, add more greens, right? Before you subtract everything out. You can't eat anything, but just add some good things before you start subtracting. So if you're experiencing a loss of soul, if you're experiencing shock, if you're a loss of trust, a loss of confidence, two things you need to add in to cultivate your own spiritual practice. One is catharsis. And what is catharsis for someone who's, what is a big word? Let it go. Catharsis. But especially having an experience or engaging in an activity that is not so cerebral.
Okay.
Or physical. Catharsis could be a really great cry, could be a really great orgasm, could be a really great lift at the gym. Catharsis or having a lot of fun dancing and just getting out of your head and into your body, to the point of emptying the vessel, emptying the mind. Catharsis is one thing that I would suggest adding in. And then the other is awe. beauty is so healing. Um, Being in the presence of something that inspires awe or your awareness of awesomeness is so healing and fueling. So, how does one engage awe? Um, go outside,
Yeah.
look at the sky and consider how massive it is. Look at the ocean if you're by one. Look at plants and trees and animals. Look at nature. Nature is gigantic and is ancient and perpetual. When my father's mother passed away, and on the same day he lost his job, the first thing that I told my dad was, Daddy, go outside, get out of the house.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on the phone with him, and the sound of his voice being like, you know,
Mm.
baby, look at all these trees. Life goes on.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. But again, in summary, catharsis, right? Let it go. And awe. Go outside and marvel, enjoy, and appreciate the limitless vastness, at least of nature. That now I'm trying to talk in terms of anybody's spirituality. Right? We're not talking about a higher or a lower power or us versus the them, but things that we just as human beings can engage, for just adding more soul to your
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much that you are talking in those terms. You're really making this complicated term really accessible. It's so valuable. It really truly is. I think spirituality sometimes like it's literally, single person. So if you've ever been on the dating apps, it's literally a checkbox now. Are you
Mhm.
spiritual? Are you whatever? It's like yes or no. It's like, what does that mean? Right. So that's why we're having this conversation. So for me specifically, and I don't know if we can get a little bit more specific just with some other things. Because everything you just said was just so profound and powerful, and I appreciate it. So simple we can all do. What I was struggling with, coming from a Western religion, society telling me that I needed to have these viewpoints and things. And then I had like a dark night of the soul. Like my whole world, like I don't believe these things anymore. My whole world was shattered. Like really, and I felt really lost for years. I had a lot of personal struggles, divorcing, the most deep, dark depression ever. I was homeless for a time. I was like, didn't have my kid. It was like I was really in it. And during those times, I couldn't find something. So what I held on to was some philosophy for me, which is not spirituality. It is philosophy. It's like based in thought and ideas. Yeah. Like, so that really was really helpful for me. Now, however, I I think of the universe.
Mhm.
I think of God. I think of spirit. I think of soul. I think of the quantum field. I think of love. And these all have the same vibe, similar vibe. Like I'll even still praise the Lord. I'll say hallelujah. I'll still say thank you, Jesus. I will still say these things in a non-judgmental way anymore. Because before I was like, oh, I don't believe that, or I don't think of that. And I was like, ew, like, and then I was having this turmoil in my brain. Like, how could you say that? But it's fine, but it felt good, but like so conflicted. And it was hard for me to get over that. So I don't know, is there someone's really struggling in this moment with coming up with this new thoughts for them to formulate something for them? Obviously going out, having awe, having a cathartic moment, that's really helpful. Like, but I want to practice. I want to get into this. I want to push this forward for myself, right? Is there some way that someone can go deeper?
Mhm. Yeah. So the first thing that I'm hearing is, well, don't resist it.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Um, and I'm seeing an image of the brain and all of the neural networks of the brain. You know, if you were raised in a certain way, you have not just neural networks established in your brain matter around certain behaviors, words, ways to carry yourself or even speak. You have what are called myelin bands. It takes multiple neurons and multiple neural networks, and it binds together like a super highway of this is who I am. Right? It's deeply ingrained in short. So your first way forward is feel the frustration and stop resisting it. Stop resisting it. What matters most is how you feel. If you, as you are, as real, feel in a state of awe or feel a state of catharsis when you are able to give honor to Creator, don't resist that, because that's you resisting yourself and also your neural wiring. For our sisters and brothers who are atheists, don't resist that part of you, right? Where you find your sense of catharsis could be in letting go of the anger of the past, right? And letting go of the injustices, like you feeling them in your body. Or it could be the catharsis of hugging someone and volunteering and getting involved in your community to make sure that your fellow sisters and brothers in life and in the neighborhood are well fed and uplifted, advocating for your house, your people, right? Or if you, as an atheist, feel a state of awe in the magnificence of architecture, right? And just taking that in and pursuing your passion, don't resist being in a state of awe. Just because you are atheist doesn't mean you can't adore and enjoy your life. Resisting, what we're resisting is our feelings. And so if you want to engage, right, as really saying, I want to get into this, lean into your frustration. But the way that you lean into your frustration is you lean into surrender. Rather than leaning into, I'm pissed about this, and this is what happened to me, and this are the things that I hate in the world, and I'm frustrated, and I don't want to be aligned with this, and blah, 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 blah. If you were to lean into that without anger, but lean in instead with surrender, what is opening up on the other side of hate is always love. And on the other side of jealousy is always desire. So if there's something that's pissing me off, it's pissing me off because what I love or what I want is this. One of the spiritual teachers I follow and who I've seen many times in person, Abraham Hicks, they say, the minute you know what you don't want, also the very same minute you know what you do want. That in essence is contrast. So to sum it up, if you want to go deeper, lean into the contrast with a sense of surrender, right? Open up and explore. Stop resisting the contrast in your life. It's happening for you, not against you.
I love that. And, you know, what I'm picking up on, you know, spirituality, it can become so complex if you allow it to be. But if you sort of take the overarching themes of release and connect, so shed, let go, and connect with either family, friends, art, nature, whatever it is that brings you that peace, that inner peace. But when you kind of boil it down, it kind of takes that complexity away so that it becomes more approachable. And I love that. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, you put it so beautifully, Addie. Just like you should be on a t-shirt.
Oh. Well, you say it so beautifully too. I'm just, I mean, you have such a gift. So I really appreciate it and you being here and talking to us about this. It's important.
My pleasure, sister. Totally. Anytime.
I guess to highlight one thing about Victoria that I really appreciate is her ability to stay connected in the moment to this thing, whatever you might call it, right? To this idea. And Victoria will say, my guides are saying to me in the moment as we talk, my guides are telling me something. And I appreciate that so much because it connects me to say, what is my intuition? That's how I talk about it from my personal self is it's my intuition or my gut, maybe some might say. What is it saying to me in this moment? Or my soul, right? And I've heard it said, when your soul speaks, move. When you feel it, when your gut tells you something, act on it. If you can do that continuously, you will feel alive. You will have that sense of fullness in your life. And it's something you do really, really well. And you're such a good exemplar of those things. When I journal every day, I have different guides, and I remember I have like 5 people, and I say, what would they tell me? And Victoria's one of them. And so it's intuition, feelings. Feelings matter, and then and spirit. Because I think a lot of teachers now, we're talking about goals. We're talking about your dreams, and it's important, and these things, and do the discipline. That's me. Let's do discipline, right? Come on, let's go. But then you're like, feelings. And I'm like, what is this? And you do that so well. So thank you so much for just being that exemplar.
Yeah, it's incredible. And actually, one question I do have for you, speaking of intuition and feelings, is uh how do you deter the difference between your intuition and your ego or your fear? Like, because fear is a very loud voice, at least for me, it comes out. And sometimes like that gut feeling, I second guess it because it's like, is it coming from my ego or is it coming from my heart and my soul? And are there any practices that help you kind of navigate that so that you are speaking from your intuition or your higher self or sort of that heart-centered space?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So what's dropping in for me, Patty, as you ask that question, is to how do I say ground this idea of the gut. So studies have shown that when a person is thinking, they're registering neural activity not only in their head but also in their gut bacteria, right? It's your second brain, your lower brain. And if you think of it, we are more bacteria than human.
Yeah, yeah.
The science behind the way that the human body works, we are more bacteria, especially the gut bacteria, than human. And your gut bacteria has cellular memory. So when
Wow.
my gut's telling me, or I get a feeling in my gut, a feeling is just you sifting through trillions of bits of cellular memory in a moment. That's what when we're talking about what matters most is how you feel. It's not just like an emotional ungrounded situation. We're talking about in the science. We're going into what is the cellular memory, the same way that we have muscle memory, we have cellular memory in our gut bacteria that we can access that wisdom. It's like a whole library in your guts. And so with that in mind, I just wanted to establish that as for you asking, like, how do I distinguish the difference between my my intuition or my higher self and my ego, which would therefore be by contrast your lower self. The ego, and I wrote about this in my book Natural Intuition Now. The ego I like to think of as your bouncer, right? The ego is the protector, the bouncer, the doorman, big burly dude with velvet rope in front of the gate to your mind. Your mind and your life are like a nightclub of awesomeness. bouncer's like, okay, wait a minute. Are you on the door list? Let me check. No, you can't get in here. Oh, all right. Like, oh, all that money, that's not on the door list. Get out of the way. All that love and attention, not on the door list. Oh, get out of the way. So your bouncer is doing the best job that he can. Like I'm born female. I believe also in connecting to my inner man. And when I think of my ego, I think of my inner protector.
Yeah.
Um, and when I think of my intuition, I think of connecting to my inner woman. And she is my inner wisdom, my intuition, right? Balancing the two. We need both for reproduction. We need yin and yang for balance.
Absolutely.
So showing the ego love of like, he's just trying to protect the nightclub and he needs an update to the door list so that he can let different things in that may be a bit risky and out of the ordinary and unexpected. And so honoring that of, okay, how can I tell the difference? Where am I coming from when I'm getting this feeling? Knowing that, again, this is you sifting through trillions of bits of data that very well could be coming from your gut. So when I get this feeling, where am I coming from? Am I coming from protector? That's the ego.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs an update to the door list of like, you just put your hand on his deltoid and be like, Bob, okay, it's okay. Your deltoid is huge. You're doing, brother. Love and attention, I want to add to the list. He's like, okay. And then
Awesome. I need to have a conversation with Bob.
yeah, he's a good guy. Like, you know, I'm like, come on, man. He's our brother. Like, why do we have to shame the inner masculine and thereby shame all men? By being like, oh, he's bad. And but no, men are good. And women are crazy, men are dumb, we're all crazy. Like
Yes. Yeah. We're all human.
there's the other half of what you asked. So, like, okay, if I'm coming from protector, Bob the bouncer is your ego. He's like, take care of him, right? Take care of your staff. He's doing his job. You got. Whereas to tell if you're coming from intuition, there's this sense of I'm gonna not say the word faith, but I'll acknowledge that that's one of the words that's coming up. There's this sense of a loss of control in intuition, coupled with certainty, which is a very bizarre cognitive dissonant moment. That intuition, only she can do that, where you feel like you just lost control and you are absolutely certain.
I just got goosebumps all over my body. Yeah, it hit home. Yep, for sure.
Yeah, here she is. And as a side note, thank you for sharing that, because when you have that loss of control with certainty, there's always a physical sensation accompanying it, such as chills. Everyone has their own unique sign, right? Or their own unique sensation to say, oh, right. Spider-Man had spidey senses, right? Gotta go do the thing. That was his intuition, right? Or for you, you're getting chills. For others, like I know my dad, his like hands will tingle. I have a client of mine where she'll feel like if something, her intuition is saying, no, don't do that, she'll feel a gag. Like everyone's body is unique and extremely intelligent and awesome in ways that science will only someday maybe catch up to. That you can tell it's, and ego as the inner man, intuition as the inner woman in all of us, regardless of what body you're in. She's going to send you that sensation, but it will feel like a loss of control and absolute knowingness. And for me, I'm connected to my inner man, so when that happens, I usually get pissed. I'm like, no, I want to do that. Like I'll get.
I love it.
So that's just I don't know if that resonates, but this is what I'm hearing to offer you.
No, I appreciate it. And it definitely resonated. I mean, I got the goosebumps all over my body, and it's so true. It's just, seeing it from a different perspective with the bouncer. I love that because it's like they're there to protect you. But then you just get the physical sort of sensations when you're really connected with that higher self and the certainty of what could potentially be right for you. So I appreciate that. That's cool. I got the the goosebumps.
Yay.
Yeah.
Victoria, amazing. Thank you so much for this is a very hard topic. And I feel like it's like unfair to ask you what is spirituality because like come on, like that's like thousands of years of like wisdom and knowledge and you're like, let's go, I got this. Yes, and I appreciate you taking on the challenge and just being so high level with it. I really feel like everyone could relate to something here at this conversation. And just thank you so much for sharing your soul and your energy and your vibe. And what are ways that people can get a hold of you if they want to know more about you?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Um, so first of all, thank you both. Like your joy, your open-heartedness, your courage to talk about such a kind of ephemeral topic. I'm in, and I'm so glad that you're in too. So it's beautiful. Where people could come and find me, should like if you're listening in, put in Sensei Victoria Whitfield in Google. I'm a Googleable person. Sensei is spelled Sensei. It's a word from Japanese that means teacher. It doesn't mean kung fu teacher. It means teacher. Right? So put that in if you have to put Sensei Victoria Whitfield. Otherwise, apparently Victoria Whitfield, I am a place with an amazing waterfall in British Columbia.
That is amazing.
That's the easiest way. Um, the second best way for us to connect is find me on School. So SKOOL app, that is where I'm building out my meditation community, especially for people like us. Like if this topic resonates with you, if you want to go deeper, if you want more classes, if you want more ways to practice and deepen your spirituality, as well as get around other professionals who are into it, go ahead and find me on School app. It's the Be Visionary Movement on School app. So that is where we're hosting all. I've been in this work for 14 years, only 14 years. But the whole time, every week, I've been recording MP3s for professionals to help them deepen their spirituality and their connection to their intuition. All of them are in our community on School app. All of teachings, my book, everything is all in there, as well as the people who are excited about this practice. So go ahead and find us there. And you can email me at team@victoriawhitfield.com if you want to shout out anytime. But like, long story short, people are going to want to Google me. So yeah, just make sure you put the Sensei first, or else enjoy British Columbia.
Amazing. I just think that what a valuable resource that app would be. I've just had the opportunity to be around you in person, doing a shamanic journey, no drugs involved, eyes open, very spiritual yet very like practical, and it was so powerful. And to be able to do that in any time, to enjoy you and your way you move through those meditation practices, is just such a value. So everyone, please go check out Victoria's School app. Look up her website and get to know her more. And thank you so much for being here with us today on another episode of Drifting on Purpose. Please like, subscribe, get notified, tell people, share this content with others. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.